So we have our products store folder created, and then I have copied. If you don't have the font awesome, at least we have downloaded it and it's on your system, so you can go in there. Make sure that your font awesome has this web fonts, everything there, plus the CSS, which is only all. That's all. Now I'll open this folder I have just created, which is the product stores. I'll right click on it and then open in VS Code. Then the first thing I'll do is to create a new file. So in here, let me enlarge my screen a bit. Okay, so I'll create my index.html file here. There is also another file we need, which is the app.js for JavaScript, and then we also need our style.css. Now in the HTML page, we'll create our boilerplates for the HTML document. Yes. Yes. I hope you have your folders. Create your folders, or copy your folders and paste them in the folder you have just created, the product store. Those who just entered, we are recreating the whole project again, so it serves as a review to what we have done. I'll take my time to explain the concepts, everything right from the design layout. Okay, everything we did on the design, I'm going to talk about it again. Make sure you steadily follow, try to do what I'm doing, and then also make sure that you're getting a result of what we are also getting, right? If there are some issues, you can address them, but then I'm also recording so that you can have a copy of the entire thing. Okay, so we'll have the title in here. Sylvia, are you done with are you up to where we got into?
Yes, I've done the style.css, but I'm now coming to do the HTML.
Okay.
My existence.
So when you look at this, we have a description, we have title, we have price. So, and then the heading is there with a horizontal rule, so you can see them here. The heading, this time we are naming it product entry form, and then the horizontal rule will rule a line below it. The next one is the input of type. So the type also defines what we'll be collecting inside it. So the type is going to be a text, the name is going to be a title, then ID is title. We can give them separate names, but since the name and the ID does not conflict, we can use the same thing for that. And the placeholder is what you would want to display inside to alert or tell the people what they are supposed to enter in this box. Now sometimes you see a label being created, like a descriptive label on top. So if you use a label, you can decide not to use a placeholder, right? So something like this, where you have, let's say, a P and then you say product's name. Okay, so you may have that. Let me switch to that. So you see I have a product name, before the box. So by doing this, I have created a label which will describe what the person is supposed to put in the box here. So I wouldn't have to recreate a placeholder, but sometimes you see some people putting the label and at the same time putting in the placeholder. Okay, but we are not using the labels, we are only using the placeholder because it well describes exactly what the person is to put inside that box, so there's no need repeating that. Then we can also have the text area, because that will be holding the description of the product. It may happen that we'll be typing multiple rows of content. Okay, so this is the attributes. It can go columns, and you can define the columns how wide you want it to be, and then the number of rows it must default to. So if I don't want it to be too tall, I can say it should have just about 8 rows. Okay, now let us just put the description there. Then I'm making it short. Other than that, then I will type description as a full word. Okay, I can also do that. So description as full word. Good. And anytime we're done with this, we have to submit. This can also be a form. Okay, an HTML form that we would use to actually submit content, but this is not anything so huge, so let's manage with this. Then we also have the div, a button of submit. Okay, and then okay, we can use an input. We can also use button though, but then the other one we use input. So let us maintain our input with a type of button. Okay, and the value is submit. Let's call this submit. That's submit. So by creating this, we have actually handled most of the things we want to do here. You can see the submit is there, the text area is here, and then the number field. Okay, so this is a number field, and then this is a text field plus the horizontal rule. So that is all set. Now let us style that, and then we move on to the next stage. So we'll go into the style and target these elements and begin to work with them. Let me reveal this again. Those who have not yet finished typing can watch that. Let me give you just a minute to check that, and then make sure you type that. Okay, so the next thing we're doing is to style this. So let me, sometimes I normally don't really do comments. Control / gives us comments. Okay, so we can use this to describe the different sections of our design, the layouts. So let's say header, let me just do header. Okay, Then anything related to header, we'll be putting it closer to the header. So anytime we're looking for it, we can be able to find it. Then let's do one for a control / for the main. Okay, so this controls the main. I do / control and then the / to create that, but you can also type it there yourself, / and then main for a * to create that comment. Then we'll come in here and say the main element should have a padding, just a padding of 20 px. Okay, I want to just create a padding of 20 px for the main. Then below that, we want to target the main and the direct divs. Okay, now what do I mean by the main and the direct divs? It means this div is a direct child of this main. When you look at the main element, there is a div inside it. Okay, and so let's come here. In the main element, this is the direct div I'm talking about. We have the main top and we have the main bottom. Okay, but currently we are working on the main top, but yet still we can style them. So in the main and then the direct divs, let's see, we have okay, so they'll be stacked on top of each other because we have the main top and main bottom. Okay, so they'll be stacked on top of each other. So I may decide not to define a grid for that, so that padding may be defined on this particular one. Now let me do this also, padding of another 20 px for that div element. And then now target my dot main dash top, right? It's in the main element dot main dash top. So main element main dash top. And when you check that, you see we have a main element, the main dash top, this particular section. We want to define a grid because it's also having two elements, but for now those two elements will be stacked on top, so display would be grid. And then for now the grid templates columns will be just one fr. Okay, so it will sit on top of, like they will be stacked on top of each other in just a single column. And then when they are stacked on top, they should also have a gap of, let's say, 20 px. So currently nothing is showing, we are not styling this yet, so we are working on the main container before we descend to the element itself. Then now we can target our main element. Okay, main dot main top and then dot main top left. And this is going to have a background color, okay, of white, and then have a padding of 20 px. So already you can see that's showing up here.